Welcome back everyone to another video. Today I've got a replay for you that quite surprised me, just the outcome of this battle and kind of how it worked. So we're on Sand River, probably one of the better maps in general, but definitely not for a tank like this, as this is easily outflankable and it's very slow and sluggish. Nevertheless, we still have a good game, and it is one of the games that I never thought would be possible. So we're platooning with one of my clanmates from Deal, and I decided it's probably best just to start off here where I'm at here on the map, because if I go south I can get outflanked, and people will just use their gun depression and I won't be able to do much about it. They can just shoot my cupolas. Same thing if I go north, and same thing if I go center. So I just decided for now, let's be a true TD. Let's try to see if we can get some shots in, and it does end up paying off in this replay, as you guys will see. So the T95, one of my favorite tanks that I haven't played much recently until now. I've kind of started to play it more. This thing is very situational, like said, and it's really hard to play on maps like this especially. So we do fire there at the STB1. Unfortunately it misses. He backs down just in time, otherwise that would have been a beautiful snapshot. So no one's really covering the CD67 area, so I tell my platoon mate that that's where we need to focus at right now. And I'm also keeping my eye there on A8 as well, because that's where the enemy is currently lit. And I'm not exactly sure how, but we do manage to kind of lose north. I was about to take a shot here, but I wasn't quite sure, and just as I do, the IS-7 does move up, and which is quite unfortunate for me. So I could have had a nice shot into him sooner, or later if I was patient, but I decided to take it because I thought that he wasn't going to move like that. So they are starting to move up north now. They kind of are pushing the center. It's okay for now. South is holding, so there isn't a whole lot going on right now. Our Conway is going to try to go spot center, see if he can, or I'm sorry, further mid-north to see if he can find that STB1. And the north there is just rushing. The enemy is rushing our allies up there, and they're doing a good job at it too. If you look at that, there's a lot of guys up there, and the south can't really do much right now, so they're just sitting there at the moment. North is going to fall here fairly shortly, and there isn't a whole lot that we can do right now. The best thing we can do is just to be patient and wait. I am going to shoot the T-30. Unfortunately, it only hits his track, and so it doesn't actually go through. And then at the same time, the rest of them go, and they just, yeah, I mean, that was also another frustrating moment in this battle, where I could have had an extra 1,400 damage if those two shots hadn't, or if they had actually penned. So it's just these last three guys up here, our M60 and our Leopard Prototype A. And I do take another shot here. Watch at that. That is 2,000 damage potentially that I could have had extra if I hadn't screwed that up. So this would have been, I'm going to spoil it, this would have been a 9,000 damage game if those three shots had penned, because I do roughly 700 to 800 a shot. And like I said too, I could have had even more. I could have had up to 10k right there, 9.5k right there, if that had penned. So very frustrating for the beginning here. It was something that, I didn't want to let it ruin the battle for me. So I was going to take a shot there at the STB, but I didn't know exactly what he was going to do. We do get a nice shot into him for a high roll up to 803. And so now it is up to me and my platoon mate and these other two guys that are with us, the Leopard and the 277, to try to hold these guys off. The T-30 is hold down there, so I can't really do anything against him, and I'm just going to try to shoot these guys as they poke. Hopefully they make the mistake of doing so. I'm going to try again for this 430U, but I did have a green marker, but I kind of knew RNG was against me, and I wasn't willing to risk that, especially since now that we are being rushed. So I'm aiming again at the 430U, and I'm not really counting on RNG to be nice to me. I am going to get a nice little snapshot there into the T10, and we do take him out for our very first kill. So the South is doing good so far. They haven't done much, unfortunately, and I think that they could have probably pushed that, to be honest. I think they could have rushed those two guys there, because if you look at the mini-map, a majority of the enemy is up in the north right now, as far as we know of. And yeah, unfortunately, my platoon mate does get ripped apart by the Jagdpanzer E100. I'm going to put a nice little high roll again for 859 into that 50 TP. And now they're just going to continue to slowly move in. They could have rushed, honestly, the enemy, they could have rushed this sooner. I'm not sure why that they didn't, but they're just coming in one by one, which potentially could have cost them the game. But I can kind of see why they didn't want to rush, because we have a lot of guys here. Like, if you look there, we have some guys like K9 and Zero that could shoot them when they poke over, and and also I'm here, so they're very hesitant to push as well. But now the center is pretty much lost as well. Our Leopard is trying to deal with that standard B, and unfortunately, there isn't much I can do here. I'm trying not to poke over because I don't want to expose my lower plate to the enemy and risk taking shots. So I'm just going to try to slowly poke over this ridge. And I don't really care too much if I get spotted. We do finish off that 50 TP. He makes a mistake and pokes over. And now we are, again, spotted. And again, I don't know how South fell apart the way it did. Like I said, I think they could have honestly rushed that when they had the chance. But because of that, they pretty much just they went out one by one from what I saw as well, just like the enemy has here in the north. And they just got taken out as I tried that. And now our IS-7 is all vulnerable to himself, only having artillery being able to help him. So now our 277 has come to help. He's going to try to get some shots on the Jagdpanzer over here. I'm going to try to help him. Unfortunately, he kind of was in my way, and I was trying to get a little bit of an angle, which kind of made me frustrated. But, you know, at this moment, I was a little nervous. I wasn't quite sure what to do. But now I'm just going to try to peek a little bit. I'm hoping that the guy up there in the north, I think it's the T-30 or something, doesn't come over. And I'm going to try to help our 277 deal with this Jagdpanzer E100 here. So he does shoot me and he does bounce, thankfully. So right now we're up to 2.7k damage, 500 assistance, and just over 1600 blocked right now. So not too great of a battles yet, but I am going to get a nice little shot there. Unfortunately, it was a low roll, which could have potentially actually cost us the game. If I high rolled that, that would have saved a lot, I think. And unfortunately, we do end up losing this match. And because that 430U stayed alive, he is now rushing and helping their Jagdpanzer rush our 277. I really wish that our 277 hadn't made that mistake, and because he potentially as well just cost us the game. So I do take out the 430U, and now it's just me alone against this Jagdpanzer E100 for the moment. There are guys coming up behind me to my left, so I want to try to take care of this Jagdpanzer as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if that was a ghost shell or if that hit the rock. I don't know, but that, again, also cost us the game. And we do end up losing here, unfortunately. But yeah, I could have had potentially a very max of 11,000 damage this battle if I hadn't missed half those shots, and if I hadn't low rolled that one shot. But like I said, what can you do? You know, RNG's mean. You can't really control that. Thankfully, the Jagdpanzer does hit our track, and he does not pen us. So we are going to take out the E4. He just decides to sit right in front of me. So now we're up to 4,500 blocked, and we're up to 4.7k actual damage as well. So I'm thinking, okay, I can win this, but I need at least the T-30 to stay alive, which unfortunately isn't really going to happen. We do put another round into the cheek of the E100, and he does bounce us once again. So now we're up to over 5,500 blocked, and of course I can just sit in front of this Jagdpanzer because I will out-reload him, and we do take him out for our 5th kill. So now we're up to 6,200 damage, and yeah, this is looking fairly promising. Unfortunately, though, the arty does track me, and because of my just greediness, I fire and I hit the gun mantelet of the Foch, and unfortunately, it doesn't go through, which again cost me the game. Even just one of these mistakes alone that I made, or including RNG is not really my fault though, but just one of these in general would have cost me the game regardless. But the fact that they added up made my chance of less and less being able to win this match. So there's the 704. He is trying to flank around. I do decide to aim here a little bit. We get a nice shot into him. Unfortunately, it was a low roll. So now we're up to 6,900 damage, and unfortunately, that is going to be all that we are going to be getting for the rest of this match. And just as I come around the corner here, Um, uh, just as I about fire, somehow the 704 gets unlit from that position, and he hits, I guess, the top of my tank with gold rounds, and he does finish me off. Very unfortunate, but, you know, what else can you do? Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you.